everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Commerce with Namita. I am Namita Mani. In this video, let us see the Banking Regulation Act 1949, the important provision under this act. This is my second video on this topic. In my last video, I have explained definition of banking as per section 5B, then business of banking company under section 6 and prohibited business of banking companies under section 8. In this video, I am going to explain section 11, section 10, section 10A, section 10B, section 18 and 24, section 20, 22 and section 25. So let's start. Section 11 is about capital requirement. So the section 11 of this act lays down the minimum capital requirement which the banking company should keep. So the banks are classified into two types, foreign banks and Indian banks. Those Indian banks, you can say it as domestic bank. So the requirement of aggregate paid up capital and reserve for foreign banking companies in India. The foreign banks which are in India, they are required to maintain capital paid up and reserve of if the foreign banks, they have the business in Mumbai and Kolkata, they are required to maintain 20 lakhs of capital requirement. If foreign banks, they do not have the business or the bank in Mumbai city or Kolkata, if it has no place, means if it has no place, that means the foreign banks have no place of business in Mumbai city or Kolkata, they are required to maintain 15 lakhs of capital and reserve. Next, the requirement of aggregate paid up capital and reserve for Indian banks is 5 lakh rupees. So this 5 lakh rupees, 20 lakh rupees and 15 lakh rupees is as per section 11 of Banking Regulation Act 1949. This is all about the capital requirement. Next, section 12 is about the capital structure. Section 12 deals with the capital structure of banking company. So regulation of paid up capital, subscribed capital and authorized capital. So these are all about the capital structure of banking company. So the section 12 says that, or defined as, the subscribed capital of banking company should not be less than 1/2 of the authorized capital. So subscribed capital of a banking company, of any banking company, it should not be less than 1/2 of authorized capital. Second point is the paid up capital should not be less than of 1/2 of subscribed capital. So this is the capital structure. According to this provision, the banking company are required to maintain the capital structure. Next is section 17. Section 17 deals with reserve funds. So under section 17, every banking company incorporated in India, means every banking company who are doing the banking business in India, they are required to transfer not less than 20% of its net profit to its reserve fund. So before declaring any dividend, the banking company are required to transfer the 20%, not less than 20% of its net profit to its reserve fund. Okay, so this is this requirement, this 20% requirement, every banking company are required to maintain. Next is about management of banking company. Management of banking company means in a bank how many managing directors should be there, board of directors, then chairman. So the section 10, section A, section 10, section 10A and section 10B deals with the management of banking company. So first we'll see the section 10. Section 10 defines that no banking company, section 10 says that no banking company shall employ or be managed by a managing agent. So no company, no banking company shall employ, or the banking company should not be managed by any managing agent. Second is the banking company shall employ, means no banking company shall employ or continue the employment of any person if that person is insolvent or like bankrupt, or has suspended a payment, or has compounded with his interest creditors, or that person is having any criminal records as per the court. So these people are not allowed to work in a bank, are not allowed to work in a bank, and the banking company should not employ them. Okay, so if any person is insolvent, like bankrupt, then he has any criminal records, though these people are not allowed to work with a banking company, or the banking company should not employ them. Second, whose remunerations or part of those remunerations takes from the form of commission or of share in the profit of the company. Even these people are not allowed to work with the banking company, and they are not, the banking company should not employ those people. So section 10 deals with the restrictions of employment. Next is section 10A. Section 10A defines that not less than 51%. Section 10A of the Act defines that not less than 51% of the members of board of directors, okay, not less than 51% of board of directors of banking company must consist, means not less than 51% of members of board of directors of banking company must consist of person who shall have a special knowledge or practical experience, means there should be not less than 51% of members in the banking company, and these people should have some special knowledge or expert knowledge or practical experience in a particular field. So those fields are accountancy, agriculture or rural economy, banking, corporation, economic, finance, law, small scale industry. Means whenever the banking company is going to appoint any board of directors, so the banking company should see the criteria of the appointment of board of directors as per section 10A. So the members of board of directors should be expert, should be they should have a special knowledge or expert, they should have a practical experience in the field of accountancy, agriculture, rural economy, banking, etc., etc. Then they are appointed as board of directors in a banking company. Next, section 10B provides that according to the Act, section 10B provides that a banking company is to be managed by a whole-time chairman. Okay, so according to the section 10B of the Act, it says that the banking companies, okay, any bank, it should be managed by a whole-time chairman, and this appointment of the whole-time chairman shall be made by the banking company, and it should be subject to the approval of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so next, this is all about the management of the banking company. Section 10 deals with the restrictions of the employment of the people. Then section 10A says that the not less than 51% of the board of directors, they should appoint as per the Act, like the members should be expert in a particular field. And section 10B provides that a banking company should be managed by whole-time chairman, and the appointment of this chairman should be subject to the approval of the RBI. Next, maintenance of liquid asset. So section 18 and section 24 deals with the maintenance of liquid asset. First we'll see the section 18. Section 18 of the Act lays down that every banking company, Section 18 says that every banking company should maintain 3%. They should maintain 3% of the total of its time and demand liabilities in the form of cash reserve with RBI. Section 18 as per the Banking Regulation Act 1949, it is mandatory for all the banking companies to maintain 3% of its total time and demand liabilities in the form of cash reserve with Reserve Bank of India, and it is called as cash reserve ratio. Okay, and section 24 defines that every bank should maintain not less than 20% of its net demand and time liabilities in the form of cash, gold and approved government securities as on last Friday of the second preceding fortnight. Okay, so section 18 says that 3% of its time and demand liabilities they are required to maintain in the form of cash reserve with Reserve Bank of India. And section 24 says that every banking company or every bank they should maintain not less than 20% of net demand and time liabilities in the form of cash, gold and approved government securities on the last Friday of the second preceding fortnight. And this section 24 is that statutory liquidity ratio, and section 18 is all about cash reserve ratio, and section 24 deals that the maintenance of statutory liquidity ratio, and this statutory liquidity ratio should be maintained in the form of cash, gold or any approved government securities like bond, etc., etc. Next is section 22 and section 23. Now section 22 and section 23 of the Act defines the licensing of the bank, means license. If any bank if any banking company wants to start the business in India, they are required to have a license. So this license is given by Reserve Bank of India as per the section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So section 22 of the Act requires every banking company to obtain a license. Okay, so section 22 of the Act, it says that every banking company who are working and doing their business in India, they are required to obtain a license. They are required to obtain a license from Reserve Bank of India before commencing the business. Before starting the business in India, they are required to apply for license from RBI. Okay. Then section 23 of the Act, it defines that branch licensing. So every banking company should obtain a prior permission from RBI for opening new place of business. New place of business means new branch either in India or abroad, and also if they want to change the location of its existing offices or branch, they have to take permission from RBI. Okay, so if the bank wants to start the business in India, so the banking company are required to take the license from Reserve Bank of India. And if the bank wants to open a new branch in any location or in any city or in any state, they are required to take the permission from Reserve Bank of India. If they want to start the business, if they want to open a new branch in India or in abroad, all banks are required to take the permission from RBI. And second, if the bank wants to change their location, if they want to shift their branch from one place to another place, for that also they have to take permission from Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Next is the section 35. Section 35 deals with or defines the inspection of banks. Okay, every banking company, banks, the conduct of the business of the banks are inspected by RBI. So section 35 of the act, section 35 of the act gives the power, okay, permits RBI to conduct inspections of bank. Inspections of bank means the commercial banks, reserve scheduled banks, then cooperative banks, development banks, all these banks, the Reserve Bank of India does the inspection. So the power, this inspection authority is only given to RBI by the Banking Regulation Act 1949 under section 35. So under section 35 of the act, permits, means it gives the rights that to RBI to conduct inspections of banks. So section 35 of the act contains the following provisions of inspection. So there are some provision, according to those provision, the RBI has to conduct the inspections of all the banks. So first provision is RBI has given the power to inspect the books and accounts of any banking company. Okay, and who has given this power to RBI? The Banking Regulation Act 1949 under section 35, RBI has got this right. So RBI has been given the power to inspect the books and the accounts of any banking company. And during the inspection, okay, during the if RBI is conducting an inspection in a particular bank, so during the inspection, every directors, officers or employee of the bank is under obligation, means the every directors, officers or employees of a particular bank, they are under obligation, means they are under obligation means the responsibilities of directors, officers and employees. It is their responsibility to produce all books of accounts, documents and provide information whichever is required during the inspection. Okay. Next, any officer of RBI who is conducting the inspection has a right to examine any director, officer, employee of the bank under oath. Means any officer who is conducting the inspection in a bank, so he has right to cross questions to the directors, officers and employees of the bank. And this inspection RBI can conduct on its own, or if there is any direction given by central government, so RBI can conduct the inspections of the bank. Next is, in any case, okay, in any case after the inspection is over, RBI sends a copy of that inspection, a report. RBI prepares a report of the inspection. RBI sends the copy to the concerned bank and to the central government. And on seeing the report, if in that report, if the government finds that there is a mislead or fraud is being conducting by the bank, so those banks can be prohibited from receiving the fresh deposits from the public, and there will be a direction by Reserve Bank of India or by government to close the bank as per section 38, okay, of the act. So winding of the bank is there under section 38. So if there is any mischeat or misfraud, or there is any fraud, if banking companies are being conducted, so so the government or RBI